welcome back to the KIKAO session. We have been talking about what is happening in Africa and the challenges that we are struggling to address on this continent. Do you have some success stories from which we can learn, borrow and live, which can emulate the transformation of how gender participation, women participation particularly, in agriculture? Do you have those?
I'm sure you do. Let's start,
All right.
Yeah, Ramiso.
Well, there are certain countries, you know, that are really showing milestones of women leadership. I can give here in Africa, there's Rwanda, like your country. I'm very inspired when I see the lady, Dr. Agnes from Agra. Yes. And also your Minister of Agriculture, who's a lady. Yes. So I think they show us that, you know, women in agriculture can be at the top level. So for me, that's a vision. And when I saw that, I was really encouraged because I had never seen it before in my communities. And when I look at best practices, we also look at other countries in Europe where they have really realized even the role of a woman is very important. I look at countries like Sweden, where they've actually allowed women to, or even the woman from the Prime Minister of Australia, who was on a panel with a baby. You know, some women were marginalized at childbearing age.
Yeah?
Yes,
New Zealand.
At childbearing age, we're no longer able to participate because, you know, you can't come to a panel because you've got a small baby. But we're seeing some of these best practices that it's okay to have a small baby in parliament. It's okay if you're on a panel, or some organizations, they allow for you to travel with a small child. We're also seeing policies allowing women to come to work early, or to have longer maternity, or to work online. I think there's lots of practices we can do to make sure that we do not lose our female gender in being productive and being able to contribute, especially during childbearing ages.
Absolutely, I think we need those policies and implement them.
Yes.
Because I have seen that in many country policies, they have very good statement on gender mainstreaming in agriculture and other sectors. But when it comes to implementation, something goes wrong. I think we need to have good policies, have them implemented in that way. And that is how you can reap the benefit of having women also in those key positions. Indeed, the example you gave is very loud in showing the benefit we can get when there is a balance in the participation, in the decision making, and all other sections. I think it is very important. What would be the role of access to technology? Because in many countries, I remember African countries, the sub-Saharan African countries, when they see a lady on a tractor, for example, ooh, that lady is on a tractor. You know, everybody knows.
Even just driving, that lady is driving, right?
And then the other technologies also they make, they come very slowly into that. And they could change the way we do business in agriculture. What would be the role of agriculture in unlocking those potentials we are talking about through the gender?
I mean, it goes even further than that. As I did research in an agricultural environment, one time I learned in that community, if a woman passed by and you came and asked this person, a man standing here, did you see anybody pass here? They will say, no, nobody passed here. Because a woman was not a person. I mean, that's how far we have come. Can you imagine that? And then in my own generation, you know, as I grew up, I was a mathematician. But we were not allowed to sit A-level mathematics as girls. It's unbelievable in my lifetime, because it was believed women couldn't even do math. You know, and yet who are the traders along the marketplace and so on? They may be literate, but they can still count their coins and so on. And so how could we've come a long way. But I can tell you this, I can just tell you this. it's a lot easier to build woman leadership from grassroots.
Yeah.
Those women at the grassroots level are the ones who really carry the communities, who carry the villages, who nurture the children, who nurture the men.
Yes.
In my own time, we've done research where we just take women, take them away, you negotiate with their spouses. We want to take mamas away for 3 weeks.
Absolutely.
You find the home almost gone. The men are almost dead, and they value the mamas so much. So I think we just need a harmonious environment. I chair this organization, KIKAO Africa Association. I'm sure you are aware of it.
Yes,
it was created soon after the Ethiopian famine of 1984. But you know, so this organization, we intentionally supported women's agriculture. Guess what? Women are producing just as much as men.
Absolutely.
You talked of equal opportunity. Technology. The men will have the technology. See, the room is full of these men. You know, their brains are just operating like this. But tell them to translate it to a level where the rural woman can understand is not easy. So we need to know that, yes, the technology is important, but the technology needs to be relevantly packaged and transmitted to that woman. That's something I've said over and over again, but we don't get the resources to have extension, because it's actually a form of extension.
And absolutely that is
yeah. So you teach them at this level. And women, you know, my young friend here, she knows, women are very good listeners. Yes.
Absolutely.
We are good listeners, we are good doers, we follow instruction, but it doesn't come to the women. So the technology is absolutely critical. Yeah. And even if it's the women dealing with the smaller crops like vegetables and so on, fruits, which are the nutritious crops, those are the high value. Those are the ones which can bring a lot of money. They need the information. They need the technology. The information they need to know where, how to carry these very delicate food crops to the market.
Yeah. Tell me now, with all this, all these challenges, all these things we need to do to change the situation, where do you see the women's participation in agriculture in the next 10, 20 years?
We need to start
in
now.
Africa.
By organizations such as yours. You are put on this series, and we are hoping this is the best series. You know, you've given us enough time to discuss this. We need to go out of here and now start executing.
Yes.
It has to start right away. It's too late already. We're talking of potential, and as I said earlier, nobody, and Dr. Norman Borlaug used to say, nobody is potential. And Africa is about potential. Let us love us, and let us do what we can do best, and let us also even export that which we can do best.
Yeah, Ramiso, young farmer, young leader, 20 years from now, where do you see the woman participating in any section of the value chain in agriculture?
Well, I see the women being empowered. You see, women in Africa, they are working too hard and not smart. I see the women harnessing technology, where instead of spending the whole day from morning to night with the hand hoe digging, I see her using technology, being able to farm using that technology with higher yields. Because you know, with technology comes higher yields. Higher yields, being able to market her produce using e-commerce platforms, being able to be paid with e-payment methods, being able to speak confidently as we empower our sisters, our daughters to be confident to speak at different places, and being respected because of her intellect, her ability to also contribute to the economy. So I see a positive future. Because the more we are dialoguing, the more we are sharing and exchanging our experiences from our different areas, our different cultures, the more we're able to harness that and actually develop it into something greater.
Thank you very much. We can see that from our two panelists, we are seeing the agricultural sector brighter and more contributing to the economic development of our continent in the next 10 to 20 years. But this will come only if all the component of the population, our population is participating equally to this. Women, youth, and men are participating equally. They have the same opportunities. And that is one of our responsibility as policymakers, as decision makers, as leaders, influencers, to make that possible. This will only happen if technology is adopted and used, not the hard working with the whole, which remains an agriculture which will be very low production, low productivity. We need to have technologies which enhance productivity, which enhances nutrition, and which enhances economic return, and all that will make us have a prosperous agriculture and approach the food security and nutrition security that we need. But the onus is also on men, and mainly on men, to have this changed from just the root level, where we educate our children, we empower them, we give them self-confidence so that they can also participate fully and tell their ideas and think and share those thoughts to change and transform agriculture sector, nutrition sector, economic sector in the continent. I thank you very much for your ideas, for your experience. Commend you for your leadership in these areas. Keep it up, and wish the best for Honorable Professor Ruth.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Viewers, thank you very much for listening to us and watching us, and we invite you for the next KIKAO session. Thank you.
Yes, the verdict is out. Africa's women are making a significant contribution to Africa's agriculture and food security, but there is still a lot of ground to cover in creating an enabling environment for them. Until next time, this has been your show, KIKAO. Don't forget to join us next time. My name is Joe Ageo.